Watching this, I am assuming you do not have experience installing Linux, so following along with a virtual machine is easier to set up, and of course you don't risk breaking anything. If possible, I would suggest either dual booting or running this on a separate machine, since the performance is generally better. So that being said, the first step is to install VirtualBox. Download whatever installation kit is suitable for your system, either for Windows 64-bit or 32-bit or Mac, and install it. After that, the next step is to download the Ubuntu 16.04 installation image. This is the latest release when I am recording this. I am on the Ubuntu website, you can see the link above, and I will just click the download button and this will take me to the donation screen. I will just continue with the download and it should automatically select the correct version for your system. In my case, the AMD 64 ISO file for 64-bit architecture. Let me just speed this download along. And I already have VirtualBox installed. I will create a new machine and note that I am in the guided mode. Here below you can see a button that says expert mode. If you are seeing something different, you can click on it to change the mode you are in. Name will be Ubuntu and it should automatically choose a Linux type of virtual machine and a version of 64-bit, which is more common and matches the installation kit I downloaded earlier. Next we select the amount of RAM memory we will give to the machine. Generally, the more you can give the better, maybe 2 GB would be good. I will just set to 1 GB for now. And we need to create a hard drive. You can just click next to select the defaults. And the hard drive type, I would suggest you choose a fixed size, and what this will do is it will create the entire hard drive at once. The dynamically allocated option will just create this as the virtual operating system uses space, which can lead to a slower performance. For the size, I will select 16 GB and let's create our new virtual disk. And our new virtual machine is ready. But before I start, I will go into the settings. In the display section, I will choose the 3D acceleration to be enabled, which can lead to a better performance since the virtual system will try to access your video card directly. And in the storage section, I want to select the Ubuntu image downloaded earlier. So below the IDE controller, click on the empty option and then click on the CD icon and choose virtual optical disk file, and I will open the file. Now I would recommend you look over the options, maybe give some more video memory and just browse around, but for now it's fine, and I will click OK and start the machine. Let me maximize this, and VirtualBox is telling me that keyboard input is automatically captured when I am in the virtual machine, which is nice. There is a second message which says the same thing about the mouse pointer. And now we are in our virtual machine. The language is set automatically to English, so I will click on Install Ubuntu. I do want updates to be downloaded during the install process. Note the virtual machine detected unavailable internet connection, so it is using that. If you do not have a connection available, then this option will not be available. It will be grayed out. And you can check if you want the third-party software for graphics, wireless drivers, MP3 and so on. In case you need them, I will check them and click continue. And now we need to select where we want to install it. In our case, being a virtual machine, I will let it erase the entire disk and format it. If you want to set up a dual boot environment, you should see another option here, install alongside Windows or something similar. And confirm our selection. Note that by default, Linux uses a primary partition for storing data and a swap partition, which is used as a kind of extension in case your RAM memory is full, then data is stored on the swap, or if the system hibernates, whatever is in memory will be moved to the swap partition. Next, select your location, then your keyboard layout, and it should automatically select this based on your location, but I will just go with a standard English option. And finally the user info, your name, the computer name, and in this case I would usually put Ubuntu, but the host operating system is already using that name, so I will choose VirtualBox. Then a username of your choice and a password. I want to be logged in automatically instead of entering the password every time, and the installation process will start. Now again, I will just fast forward through this since it's nothing special, you just wait for it to finish. And we need to restart the computer. Now, this usually fails whenever I install through VirtualBox. I guess maybe the system is trying to eject the installation CD and it cannot do this for some reason and it gets stuck or something similar. So up at the top where you have the menu, I will just click on Machine and Reset. And after it loads, we do get our new Ubuntu system. In case you have not used Linux up to now, this is the main desktop screen. You have a panel in the left which holds the icons to launch, and the first icon is the dash, which you can use for searching applications, files, and so on. This is the standard look of the Unity desktop environment, which Ubuntu uses by default. Now I will move to an actual system instead of a virtual machine in the next video, but if you want to follow along with a virtual machine, that's fine. There is something you should do, however. In the main VirtualBox menu, under Devices, you have the option to install guest additions. This is a set of drivers and applications which can improve the performance of your virtual machine, and it is recommended you install them. You might get this message that the ISO file needed is not available, and if you want to download it, I will choose Download and Download again. And Insert when it's finished. The auto run will start and I will run the software. Note the terminal has started, and this is something which happens in Ubuntu pretty often. You need to type in your password, the one you set up when installing the system, to authenticate. This is a security measure since the system does not grant you by default permissions to install programs. Now the guest additions are being installed and it should take a few minutes. Press enter to exit the terminal and I will right click and eject the guest additions. You should restart for the changes to take effect, and I will shut down and move to a live machine to continue working on our new system. And I will see you in the next video.